So by the time we all swam up to the manhole cover, it had been completely sealed over, and we all died. Oh,
One of these days, you're actually going to tell a decent joke at the start of this podcast.
wasn't a joke. Welcome, my little dirty chickadees.
Hello.
Welcome back for another tasty morsel of the Big Damn Cast. And literally a morsel. This week, sod all has happened in the world of media and comics and movies. Like, it's a dry spell.
Well, it's weird because we're recording this obviously before Suicide Squad has come out in the UK, so we can't see it.
Yeah,
but yet other people have seen
about
it.
48 hours away from actually seeing it with our eyes.
And people have started talking about it because the press have seen it, but we can't really talk about it because we haven't seen it. We can only talk about people's reactions to it. So we're kind of in a weird in between nothing space.
Well, let's address one thing.
We're in the super flow.
Let's address one thing related to Suicide Squad because it's pretty damn interesting.
Man.
So, David Ayer, director of Suicide Squad, at the premiere, I believe it was.
And, well-known, brash, arrogant,
yeah,
obnoxious prick.
Yeah, I mean, look.
Just look at his reaction
creative,
to anything.
Creative man.
Nope.
Like, come on, End of Watch is pretty creative.
Sabotage.
Alright, fair enough. What's that other one from a few years ago?
He did Fury, actually.
Fury, yeah, but I don't think
People like Fury.
I didn't like Fury. I thought it was a little... I don't know. It traded in the emotional core for what was happening for just look at the explosions, and it was it was a bit more grit than I don't know, a bit more grit than grind.
What put me off for Sabotage, which was the last film I watched, which is the one he did with Arnie, was it just felt really mean.
Yeah,
it felt like a cruel film.
Yes. It was nasty. It was a nasty movie.
Yeah, it was just something unpleasant about it, which I couldn't never quite put my finger on.
But that's what's kind of sad about his presence around the press for Suicide Squad. At Hall H, both last year and this year at San Diego Comic-Con, he came across as a massive dickhead. Yeah. Just screaming and bellowing, saying that DC owns Hall H!
He did that for the first...
All this stuff.
But for the Suicide Squad reveal panel. Like, for the first one he did, it was just really obnoxious. But he's carried that attitude through all the promotion of the film and every time he's talked about it.
But it hit its peak this premiere week.
Yeah.
When in front of a crowd of people, at the premiere, he yelled the words, "Fuck Marvel."
It's not the way to incite a sexual encounter, really.
No.
It's not how you do it. You don't...
This is not how it works.
You got to buy him dinner first.
Dinner and a show.
Yeah.
Spend the whole evening together.
I mean, he's since apologised for it, and he's adamant that someone else said it, and I echoed it, and I shouldn't have. Big props to all my brother filmmakers. So
did he say
no
that?
Women make films either. Yeah, that's what he tweeted.
Oh my!
I can't look up the exact wording of it because your internet's decided to die.
Oh, well,
so we started recording the podcast. But
helpful. Cheers, internet.
Thanks. That's just my tablet being terrible. But yeah, that's basically what he said. And it's just... There's something so, like... It's like a non-apology.
Yeah, he's not sorry.
Well,
he's not sorry.
Really sorry.
But it's a reflection of this, and I think we're going to talk more about this next week, maybe, but it's a reflection of this attitude that seems to be coming out of the Warner DC camp.
Yeah.
That the way we show the quality of our films and how ready we are to entertain you is to slag off the competition. And that's not the way to go forward. Marvel and DC Comics have never been at each other's throats. Like there's
kind of friendly rivalry, hasn't it? Well,
yeah,
not so much in recent years.
There's rivalry, but that's where the whole like distinguished competition stuff comes from. It's like they survive because the other exists.
I mean, at one point,
this market needs
competition is
competition.
absolutely healthy.
Yeah.
But I mean,
and I think the comic book guys are aware of that. They're like, yeah, this is good. Oh, yeah, well, oh god, the other guys are selling well. What can we do to pick up? What can we do to...
We'll do the New 52, that'll work. No, get rid of it all. That didn't work, let's not do that again.
But so, like, rivalry is expected, but it's all in... It's a friendly rivalry.
I mean, at one point, the comics... divisions of DC and Marvel. This is back before they were acquired by the various parent companies. But the companies were on good enough terms to do a JLA Avengers crossover.
Yeah, I mean,
to do the amalgam stuff in the mid-90s.
Before that, Spider-Man and Superman.
Yeah, Spider-Man, Superman, and
2 Spider-Man Batman crossovers.
Yeah,
they were both in the
there's
early
a Batman
90s.
Daredevil
Oh wow,
crossover.
See, now that I'd like to read.
All sorts of bits and pieces like that.
But everybody getting on, because ultimately, our success is your success. Like, if we're successful, you guys either up your game to try and one-up us, or you guys sell more because more people are going, I like comics, what else is there? And they're picking up more books and more different things. Like, that's how it is. Whereas the film mentality seems to be that Disney and Marvel are going, this is so cool. What a time to be alive. We're making superhero movies. Like,
what a world!
These used to happen like once every 4 years, and now we're making like 2 a year. This is so cool.
2 a year, 3 a year. You get a movie. You get a movie. Everybody gets a movie.
Look under your seat. What's that? It's a contract for a movie.
Hey!
Everybody gets a movie.
Everybody's in a movie.
But then DC's mentality has been like, hey guys, so we know you like the Nolan stuff. That's cool, but we want to kind of do what Marvel are doing. But better.
But it's like the but better attitude of a teenager. Like, it's like they take this. You get your exercise book from school. You're like, you got to cover your book, so you cover it. You did what I did because I was an edgy teenager, and you cover it in like Slayer album covers and scratch skulls and band logos onto it in black pen. That's what they've done with superhero movies. Guy getting Zack Snyder to direct to helmet, who's the most sort of bullshit edgy teenager director in the world. And then they got David Ayer to do it, who's similarly budgie L shit.
He's a budgie.
He's a
right
budgie L
old
shit.
budgie,
He's a bullshit edgy teenager. Basically, David Ayer is 48 years old.
Oh god,
he's 48 years old, and he resorts to catcalling fuck Marvel at premiere because he knows that he's made a movie that's not as good as theirs. And that right, this is one for the conspiracy theorists.
Oh, here we go.
We are not sponsored by Marvel. We do not take money from Marvel. No one is telling us to talk shit about DC, and we haven't seen Suicide Squad yet. It might be great. I'm hoping that there is some stuff in that movie to redeem it, because I want to like a lot of things about it until I see Jared Leto and then I'm a little sick in my mouth.
Yeah. Matt is sat here in a Superman t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm wearing a Superman
t-shirt. He's wearing
t-shirt.
Superman on him. He's proudly walked around our town wearing it. Yeah. He has not got a Marvel bias. On the other hand, I've got hundreds of pounds in my back pocket given to me by Kevin Feige.
Yeah, well...
But, no, I'm kidding. We don't want to dislike this stuff. We want it to be awesome.
I've always been more of a Marvel guy than a DC guy in terms of the stuff I read, but I still like those characters and those settings, and,
you like what they stand for. You like where they came from.
I like the idea of Superman. I like the idea of Batman. I haven't liked a lot of their recent output, both on screen and on page, but I like the idea of those characters. I like a lot of their classic stuff.
You're still dedicated to the idea enough to have paid for said output.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you feel of it after the fact, you've still put money in the pockets of DC and Warner Brothers.
I have done that.
So you are supporting them, and you want to keep supporting them. Yeah. That is pretty much our stance.
And certainly in the comics sphere, I've talked about this a little. I'm going to talk about it more. As I say, I'm just waiting for all the Rebirth stuff to come out.
Yeah.
So I can do at least.
Well, you like how that started.
But that started really strong, and it seems like they're really course correcting on what people have had problems with the New 52 stuff.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're kind of starting to do that with the movies because of the footage that's come out for Wonder Woman and less so Wonder Woman, but more so Justice League.
That they're going right. Tonally, we need to shift.
It's wrong. Maybe we need to lighten things up a little bit. Although they still have still bugs me that they set up a joke in that trailer and don't pay it off.
I hear you talk to fish. Up top, anyone?
It's like nothing. No no giant shark, no giants, just nothing.
I mean, even that would have been some kind of a punchline. He just goes up top, puts his hand out, and a random fisherman in the thing, he just gives him a high five.
just like literally an outtake from the movie. But yeah, so we want this stuff to be good. Like, what benefit does it do to us if Suicide Squad is a bad movie?
it means we've spent money on a cinema ticket and we didn't have a good time.
I mean, we're gonna
That's no benefit to anyone.
We're gonna talk about it regardless. Like, I don't know if it does anything in terms of our audience, whether we're talking shit about a movie or talking good stuff about a movie. We're gonna talk about it anyway.
Yeah.
So, I think I'd rather talk about a movie that's good.
Yes.
Than the one that's bad, personally. Because I can get all excited about it.
That would be awesome. And again, we're going to save it for next week.
Yeah.
But
we haven't seen it yet.
But looking at the early reviews...
Oh, it's not doing well.
It's so strange. Go back to episode 1, and I'm still kind of on the fence about this film. Go back to the last episode about San Diego stuff.
We were pretty positive
we were like, you know what? I'm looking forward to this now. This, like, Jared Leto's not sitting comfortable with me, but I'm sort of geared up. And it goes to show the power of marketing when it's done right.
Yeah.
Because the last 2 trailers, the SDCC one and the character promos, and I was like, oh god, I'm on board. And I'm looking forward to this. And having read the reviews and seeing a lot of the negative feedback seems to be the stuff that we expressed concern over.
It's taken a pummeling. I think it's taken more of a pummeling critically than
Ghostbusters,
that
actually.
Did. Oh, it's taken, like, Ghostbusters is still pretty positive. It's positive to mixed.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad is
odd for
mostly
something that
negative.
was in the run-up.
I don't think Ghostbusters was ever going to... I think a lot of the stuff about Ghostbusters wasn't from critics. It was from people going, there's women in my movie. Or... Which is not a legitimate criticism.
It's not.
Or the more legitimate criticism, which is why they're remaking a classic movie. Which, to be fair, I haven't got a problem with remakes. Because if they're bad movies...
They're bad movies.
They're bad movies and they're still the original. Like, whatever. And some remakes very, very, very rarely can improve on the original concept. Like John Carpenter's The Thing. Which is probably my favourite movie of all time. But... I don't think Ghostbusters was ever in danger of getting that same critical drubbing because it was coming from proven comedy talent, a proven comedy director. It was a concept that was always going to bring people in, and I think they approached it in a decent way. Some of it didn't work for me, but for the most part, I actually really enjoyed it. And I don't think most critics had any problem with it.
No,
like with the worst critical stuff I kind of saw was like it's a bit messy, but it's fine.
Richard Roper dragged it through the hedge a bit. Yeah. It was he was basically just like, this was an exercise in pointlessness.
Red Letter Media savaged it.
Yeah. Did you see,
little
side note, did you see their Scientist Man explains Ghostbusters?
No, I haven't watched it, because
it boils down to them basically saying that all the media around the negative reaction to the trailers neglected the fact that when you mathematically look at the downvotes and comments and this, that and the other, out of all the people who watched the trailer as of last week, only like 1.5% of people said something horrible about it. So it goes to show that it is really a tiny minority who are very loud. Or a tiny minority whom Sony allowed the biggest podium to talk from.
Yeah. But likes and dislikes as a metric on a video's quality is near useless.
Yeah, it was jack shit. I mean, our Ghostbusters review when we did it on YouTube, official CDJ, go give it a watch, got a giant amount of dislikes.
Yeah,
almost immediately, and it seems it was just because people watched the first 5 seconds, saw that we quite liked the movie, and then decided, no, you're wrong. That's not how that works.
Got some great comments on that.
We got some really God, I'd like to go into that, but I feel that one commenter in particular would probably snap my head off. Mostly just because he's hungry. Anyway, the point is, there were some more colourful ones which I didn't even allow to be put on the page because I was like, wow, young viewers can still see this. I would rather them not see what you've written. You dirty bastard! You
dirty man.
But
they were probably 12 themselves, though.
Oh God,
I imagine
David Ayer.
It's that kind of.
It was David Ayer.
It was all David Ayer. He's 48-year-old man who likes to throw shit at other movie companies because he knows his movies aren't as good. I really hope it is, though. I really hope there's some good stuff in Suicide Squad.
I want it to be, and it's been fun seeing Will Smith do the rounds doing promo this last week as well. Just because it's fun to see Will Smith doing promo.
I mean, I haven't seen End of Watch, but it was almost universally well regarded. Fury was mostly well regarded. I have seen Sabotage, and that was dog shit. So I'm hoping it leans more towards the Fury and End of Watch end of his work. End of Sabotage.
I think it's again tonally because End of Watch is great because it is frightening and uncomfortable. And Suicide Squad isn't advertising itself as an uncomfortable, gross, like, unnerving movie. It's advertising itself as a good time with the bad guys. But a lot of the reaction is, this is unpleasant.
Yeah.
And not the bad guys. It's not the bad guys who are unpleasant. They're too good to be unpleasant bad guys. Like the story muddies itself. Apparently, like it goes in saying like these guys are the worst of the worst, but by the end it's like these guys are basically heroes. They're just misunderstood. Right. And it's like no. But again, one bit of feedback that's come out said that it means that the only villain who you are genuinely like, oh yeah, they're a psycho, they're a nasty piece of work, is the Joker. But he's not shiny and important or like sort of prominent enough in the movie to warrant being in it. Look, we'll wait till next week. We'll both see
when we have a chance to watch it and
we'll do a YouTube review, and then I think we'll go in depth on the podcast.
Yeah.
But
we have to.
Yeah, which will be a week after the release, so that's enough time for you all guys to have seen it.
We'll have some review thoughts, and then we'll get a podcast out. I think.
By Jiminy tweets.
But yeah, and David Ayer has responded to the criticism in a typically classless way by.
What are you talking about? It was really classy. He posted a quote in foreign quote. That's classy.
Like, how did it go? I'd rather die on my knees than die on my feet than live on my knees. And it's like I made this movie. I'm really proud of this movie. I made it for the fans. Greatest time of my life. I don't want to like spoil things for you, David, but I think it's a lot of the fans who don't like this movie. You can't like if the DC fans and Suicide Squad fans seem to be a lot of the people who don't like this kind of thing. The way they're going with it, because of the bastardization of the comic book characterizations. So then you're only really talking about fans of your own movie. Well, you can't make a movie for fans of the movie if the movie doesn't exist yet. Like, you can't make a movie.
What are you talking about? DC owns Hall H.
You can't.
We own this shit.
They own this shit. So
if you don't agree, then you're a pussy. Who are you, Thomas Wayne? Thomas Wayne isn't a pussy. But then Thomas Wayne punches muggers in the face.
David Ayers also came out and talks
Welcome
about
to the DCEU.
He talks about how much of a DC Comics fan Zack Snyder is, and how much of a great director he is. So he's also done some damage control for him on that front.
Oh dear. What I like about it, okay, so David Ayer has basically fucked up a lot, done damage control a lot. Zack Snyder has fucked up a lot and done damage control a lot. Cast members like Jason Momoa have fucked up a lot, and Warner's has had to sort of do very soft damage control around them. Yet the one name attached to all these movies at the moment, aside from Dwayne Johnson, who I don't think we're ever going to see him as Black Adam.
I don't think it's never going to come out. It's never going to come out.
So can Marvel grab him real quick to play somebody? Pretty please.
Oh, who would he play? Who would
Dude's a charisma machine. You could make him freaking. What's that hairy dude? He's sort of like orange and he looks like a lion. He's mostly in Thor stuff. And like Hulk. He's a big hulking dude. Is it Ulick or something like that?
Are you talking about... No, Ulick is a troll.
Ulick's a troll. Who am I on about?
Are you talking about the Griffey?
Maybe. What I'm saying is you could cast Dwayne Johnson...
a super obscure villain.
You could cast Dwayne Johnson as a super obscure villain. And that super obscure villain will be on lunchboxes.
Would you cast Dwayne Johnson as Kraven the Hunter in a Spider-Man film?
Oh, yes! Oh, right. Look, do you know what that... Funny enough, we're going to answer a few questions that you guys out there sent us the other week. And one of them is about that. It's about castings. So we'll get to that in a bit.
Okay.
Hold on to that thought because, God, I think you've answered a question perfectly. Jesus, wet. That is great. Right, moving on. Real quick. Oh God, that's great. The only other person other than Dwayne Johnson who I know is attached to these movies, apart from maybe, who's the director of Wonder Woman? Patty Jenkins.
Is that it?
I think so. She's the lady who directed Monster.
I need to look it up.
Like she, when I heard she was attached to Wonder Woman, I was like, oh, cool, okay, like, yeah, cool choice. But James Wan is meant to be directing Aquaman.
Yeah.
I like James Wan. I think he would handle sort of the otherworldly elements of, undersea, cities and like the aquatic villains and everything. I think he'd handle that quite well.
James Wan a sandwich.
Don't you wanna Sanka? Doesn't make sense. But James Wan has had to do damage control for his own movie before it, is in production.
It's really
Because
strange.
after Batman v Superman, he had to come out and say, "Don't worry, Aquaman's going to be fun." And then Warner's have obviously gone, "Could you maybe not say that, James? Because it makes it sound like you're not supporting what we've just done."
But they've
James."
created such a toxic atmosphere around their own output that I don't know what else. I don't know what else they can do. Like
So
they've
odd.
really.
It's so odd.
Like, Warner Brothers have kind of shit the bed because not.
And it's too late to change the mattress.
Yeah, they just keep
That's
making...
the problem. They've changed the duvet, they've changed the sheets, they've changed the pillowcases and the mattress cover, but then they've realised they don't have the budget for a new mattress. So they've got the same shitty mattress. And they're just trying to cover it up, but that shit stink is just coming through,
They're
man.
just so drunk.
They've turned it over like 8 times. The shit is still there.
They're so drunk, and they're vomiting in their own bed, but they're so drunk at this point that they don't care, and they're just sleeping. Like, it's like...
While you've got people like James Wan at the edge of the bed going, I mean, I could, if you want, I could get you a new cover. I could change the cover for you.
Is James Australian?
He's New Zealand, I believe.
Okay, alright. I'll go with that. I'll let that slide.
I can't differentiate between the accents. Not because I'm racist, but because if I'm trying to learn...
because you're racist, but because you're racist.
If I'm trying to learn the accent, I haven't figured it out yet. I need to sit down and listen to the 2 accents and listen to the specific cadences.
Okay.
I know the New Zealand accent is a lot softer than the Australian accent. The Australian accent is broader. The New Zealand one is a lot more reserved.
That's very interesting,
Held back
but it's
here.
absolutely material to what we're talking about.
It is, well... Flight the Conchords. There you go.
We're not talking
New
about
Zealand.
Flight the
No,
Conchords.
but if they suddenly teamed up again and wrote musical
Would they
numbers
be
for
in-
the DC movies,
would
the
they
DC
be in the
movies would
Justice League?
instantly be improved. Oh my god, they could be
The Wonder
Booster
Twins.
Gold and someone else.
Blue Beetle.
Yeah, Blue Beetle. There we go. But have a whole movie.
Which one is?
Well, let's make Jermaine Blue
It's
Beetle
Jermaine
just because Blue Beetle shouldn't be like 6'5", and it would be hilarious.
He should be. Jermaine Clement as Blue Beetle.
And make the dude who's their manager the Guardian, just cause.
Greg Proops.
No, not Greg Proops.
He's
What?
in Fight the Conchords, isn't
He's not their manager.
he? He's like a label guy. I'm sure I've seen Greg Proops.
I do love Greg Proops. Oh my god, cast Greg Proops in everything. I'll be happy.
Oh, what could Greg Proops play in
Greg-
DC Cinematic Universe?
Greg Proops should be.
Should he be? He should be Maxwell Lord.
No, Martian Manhunter.
Oh, Greg Proops is smashing.
Like, it's not perfect casting by any stretch of the imagination, but that's why it would be brilliant. But tell him to do it specifically using the voice he does for that one of those commentators from the pod race, just so he's constantly really happy.
I do like David Harewood's Martian Manhunter from Supergirl, actually. So I would like.
No,
to see
but Matthew, that would require the foresight to merge your TV universe into your movie universe.
But we'll never see Martian
and bring a
Manhunter
bunch of
in the DC
characters we like.
films.
No, because
as
David
David
Goyer
Goyer says.
Oh god,
if you know who Martian
David
Manhunter
Goyer's
is,
another one.
you've never been late.
David Goyer's another one who's
I don't
really
think
similar.
he's involved with them anymore. I honestly
Well,
don't think he's. I think they've gone.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was
Out
like
the door,
if he
David.
wasn't like a
Out the
story
door.
advisor. I wouldn't be surprised if he was a story advisor.
Yeah, I mean, but he has to tell good stories to do that.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
I don't know. David Goyer's written some.
I mean, co-wrote Dark Knight and Batman Begins.
Didn't he write Supermax?
I
mean, they don't. That never got made, but
that was the Green
That's
Arrow.
the Green
film.
Arrow
The Green
film.
Arrow in a prison, and
Yeah,
he
he
has
has
to
to
get
fight
out
his
with
way
the
out,
supervillains, which may or may not apparently be the plot of the Batman solo movie,
Yeah.
retooled into Arkham Asylum. So it's,
I mean, yeah.
it might be called like Batman Arkham Asylum, so everyone will be like, oh my god, so it's like the game, or oh my god, it's like Grant Morrison, but in reality it's just the retooled Green Arrow screenplay, and Ben Affleck's giving it a once-over. Which is sort of a massive disservice
Bit like the
to
Nanny.
Green Lantern. Oh, that was good. That was good. On that, I think we're going to have to leave DC behind, because
Yeah,
we're not going to get on a higher
now.
note than that. Or for that matter, a lower note than that as well.
On speaking of low notes, though,
Oh.
remember Disney Infinity?
Oh, I'm sad. No.
Yeah,
You don't have to
you're
say
sad.
it. I'm sad. Disney Infinity, for those who don't know, is the reason to live. We'll be perfectly honest, it's brilliant.
And it was a reason to live, and then Disney killed it.
Yeah.
Because the Toys to Life portion of the market got a little saturated.
Yeah, Disney Infinity, for those who genuinely don't know, I'm sorry you don't know because it is full of joy and wonder and
It is
whimsy.
full of joy.
It is a game where it's 3 games, all the same, but just each new one introduced new ideas and different expansions to how the world works.
The first one was just like Disney movies.
Yeah,
The second one introduced Marvel characters. The third one introduced Star Wars characters.
Yeah, and you'd get sprinklings of new characters, and the characters were in the form of figures, like little statues, which on their own are gorgeous little
They're
statues.
really nice.
They're
and
really
some of the
nice
ones that they
sculpts.
were going to make for the next game that now is
was
never
Doctor
coming out.
Strange and characters like that.
Doctor Strange,
were coming out,
we were
weren't
talking about 12-inch ones.
Oh,
like big
what?
ones that lit up like a big 12-inch Darth Vader.
Oh wow!
Um,
They wouldn't fit on the game board,
I think
surely.
they might have had to do a new portal.
Uh,
But
but that's the thing. People did buy the statues
Yeah,
just
yeah.
for the statues,
Yeah.
and it,
I really like. I've got a Hulk and I really like him. I've never used him in the game. I actually really like the Hulk figure.
it's gorgeous, isn't it? And they're basically the idea is you put the characters on a gamepad and you can play as the characters in the toy box where you create your own levels, your own challenges, your own challenge maps. With each game, the toy box worlds got much more expansive, much
Yeah.
bigger. You could create bigger things and then upload them online so other people could play your levels. You could download other people's levels and play theirs. And also a lot of character packs, double figure packs came with levels akin to the property or the story or the film those characters are from. So if you bought like Star-Lord and Gamora, you could play a Guardians of the Galaxy storyline set out in space. Or if you got the starter pack for the first game, you could play a Pirates of the Caribbean, a Monsters Inc. and an Incredibles mission. It was great. It was so cool. And each story mission was roughly 2 to 3 hours worth of content on the surface. And then all the mini missions and mini games within that and the collectibles made it at least sort of
I've spent
6, 7 hours. If you plowed through one, it's like 6, 7 hours solid, which for a family game is great.
Between the Monsters Inc. stuff in the first game and the Avengers stuff in the second game, I've spent easily around 10 hours between the two.
It's amazing.
Plus like 3 or 4 hours in both Infinity 1 and Infinity 2, just messing around in the toy box building stuff.
Plus games aimed at the family and
Yeah,
young children.
absolutely,
Young kids could pick these up and get it.
They're very kid friendly.
They're brilliant, which is so rare. It's so rare outside of Nintendo that consoles take to that audience and cater for them. But the thing is, the games that have been doing that have been Disney Infinity, but also the accidental downfall of Disney Infinity, which is things like Skylanders.
Well, Skylanders was what started it.
That's the one that kicked it off. Amiibos, Nintendo,
Wicked.
which is it's something that they're still sort of figuring out new things to do
Yeah,
with
because
them.
not all
aren't they?
Amiibos work in all games, but Amiibos do work across multiple games, but they do different things in different games. It's never really made clear what games what does what in.
But when people are parting with their hard-earned cash, a lot of people seem to be going more toward Amiibos.
Or
the dedicated Skylanders buyers have been going for the new versions of that over time.
what
'Cause
really
that sells
killed?
quite
What
well.
really killed? Well, not anymore. What
Really?
really killed
Oh.
everything was Lego Dimensions.
And there we have it. That's the end. That's the end of
'Cause-
end of all things, basically.
Yeah, Lego Dimensions came in,
For better or for worse, really.
but the year Lego Dimensions came in, the sales across that sector didn't get bigger.
Yeah.
So the sales were staying the same, and there was more competitors. So Disney cashed out. Like, yeah, this probably isn't going to work. We're going to take a step back. Which is a real shame.
We are done. We take the money and
Yeah.
run.
I mean, they already cut some stuff from... Because there's Rebels figures for Disney Infinity 3
Mm.
from Star Wars Rebels, but there's no Rebels level pack. They were originally supposed to be a Rebels level
Then that was
pack.
going to be an upcoming thing with a
Yeah.
couple new figures and stuff.
We've still got the last couple of ones that were released for 3, which was like Alice and Time from the Alice Through the Looking Glass and the Mad Hatter.
There's a Civil War one as well, wasn't
The
there?
the Battlegrounds pack was...
with a new Captain America figure.
Well, the Battlegrounds pack's apparently really good because it was
That was the
first-
thing that nearly made me buy 3. I never got around to buying 3 because I was still having so much fun in number 2.
You could use all your Marvel characters on it.
Mm.
All of them.
Yeah.
Including the ones they released a Black Panther for it, they released an Ant-Man for it, they released an Ultron for it, they released a Hulk
Symbiote
poster for
Spider-Man as well.
it, Symbiote Spider. It came with a Winter Soldier cap.
A maskless cap.
Yeah,
And assless chaps.
It's like the pose from the Winter Soldier where he's got the shield, he's holding the shield.
Yeah, the one the Captain America exhibit, like from Winter Soldier.
No, where it's like
I was on like the promo images and stuff. Was the promo?
Yeah, the
images holding
promo is
shield?
from Winter Soldier where he's got the mask off, he's looking down, and he's holding the shield in front of him in both hands.
Gotcha. But in a cartoony form. The art style was gorgeous as well.
Really nice art
It
style.
was because obviously what they must have done when they approached it from the first game was they looked at the Disney and Pixar art style, found a happy medium where all of them could still look like the characters they're based on, but have its own thing where all of them fit in the same look. And then when it came to number 2 and they started expanding, they started doing more. Like, obviously, there's live action characters. The first one, like pirates, and Tron and things like that. When it comes to number 2 and they start adapting comic book characters, cartoon characters and film characters all from Marvel stuff, they found ways to make them still look like they belong in that style as well. Like you can have a Thor figure next to a Captain Barbossa figure, and they look like they fit in the same world. Yeah. It's so good, and all the expanded characters and all the extra little characters. Like you're playing around in the Spider-Man world, and suddenly you can put like White Tiger in your toy box. Mm-hmm. You can put Luke Cage in your toy box.
Oh, we never got a Luke Cage figure, did we?
No, we never did. No. Well, that was weird because he and White Tiger were like the only 2 regulars from Ultimate Spider-Man, the cartoon, that didn't get figures.
Spider-Man Luke Cage. I want an actual Luke Cage.
Yeah, but that's the problem. All the Spider-Man figures are based on Ultimate. Yeah, which is a shame.
He got an Iron Fist, but it was Ultimate Spider-Man Iron Fist.
I mean, he still looks like Iron Fist, though.
He's got that
weird bandana. Spidey looks like Spidey, and Venom looks like Venom. Green Goblin, however, looks like
it's
the Ultimate one. So it's sort of it's a goblin creature with some Incredible Hulk-esque Marvel now armor over the top of him.
Stuff,
that's right. Yeah. And the Nova's pretty good. The fact that Nova is a figure.
I mean, it was always going to be Sam Alexander Nova anyway, because that's who Nova is now.
But it's still pretty cool that Nova is an action figure made for a major retailer, for a big company like Disney that people were buying.
Yeah.
Because I saw it, and this is the saddest thing for me, is that this has opened up a big well of creativity for kids. Because I think like the level creation of the toy box over the last few years has been something that kids have really got into. I've downloaded level packs where they're actually kind of, you can see the spark of the idea, but they're kind of simplistic, and you have to wonder, is this a younger player who's tried it? Because if so, I'm going to play their level, I'm going to give good feedback if I can, I'm going to let them know this is awesome. And then you get some Mario level creator-esque, near impossible toy boxes to play in, where you get absolutely slaughtered the moment you arrive. Which is even more fun if you can suddenly take on a load of gigantic robotic henchmen and Omnidroids as Rapunzel with a frying pan.
Yeah,
it's bloody brilliant. You'd never dreamed in a million years you could play a game where Jack Skellington teams up with Loki. It's like, these are things that happen. I've had Mickey Mouse fighting alongside Captain America. This is a thing.
And it's not all bogged down in Kingdom Hearts bullshit. Which is nice.
Yes. Although, do you know what? Maybe that would have been... they wouldn't have been the thing that saved it, but that would have been definitely a good moneymaker if they'd have continued down the line, if they'd done a Kingdom Hearts level pack.
Nope.
Where you have, Sora and King Mickey or something. Nope. That would have been cool.
Nope.
That would have been cool.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
And I said that as someone who enjoyed the first Kingdom Hearts game.
enjoyed Kingdom Hearts when I first played them. On my replays,
See, I do
I'm
want to go
having
back and
much
play
less
Final
fun.
Mix.
I'm having much less fun on my replay.
Man.
Mostly due to the camera. The camera and the rate of enemies appearing, spawning and stopping you from continuing is the most frustrating thing.
See,
in the
I
whole
did
damn
everything
world.
on that first game.
Mm.
I did everything.
Yeah.
On the PS2 version of that first game, so I know that game real well.
Mm.
So I'd be interested to go back to it and see how much that applies.
Maybe you could defeat Oogie Boogie for me because I'm stuck. But
I played a good chunk of the Chain of Memories as well, but the GBA version. Yeah. Not the version that's on the PS3 re-release. I don't think remade in 3D.
Can you play it on the PS3
Chain of Memories? Yeah,
Chain of Memories recoded. Which one is it that's on there? There's another one that's on there that's just the cutscenes.
358 over 2 days?
Which was a DS game?
PSP?
Was it?
I think so.
I thought that'd be a port.
I mean, going down the Kingdom Hearts rabbit hole is not a thing we want to do right now because there's a bunch of games all for different platforms with real stupid names.
Yeah. But essentially, Disney Infinity, this wonderful well of imagination and creativity for young children. Disney Store, this one time I saw a kid, it was after Christmas, they must have been spending vouchers, and they bought 7 or 8 Disney Infinity figures, and they looked so happy. And it was obscure shit. It was like Olaf and Iron Fist and Nick Fury and freaking who's Anakin's apprentice? Ahsoka. And it's they looked so happy holding these obscure ass characters, and I was like, this is amazing. This kid wants to army build and play as all of these people.
The Star Wars ones look so great as well.
The designs are beautiful. Yeah. And then with number 3, this was the thing that nearly made me get number 3 actually. Number 3, they finally did Minnie and Mickey together. Yeah. It was a 2-pack with Minnie and Mickey, and the design is gorgeous. Because I've got a Wizard Mickey from the first one. And I was like, oh my god, these are beautiful. And I never picked up Donald for number 2. I always wanted Donald. Jasmine was rare. I think Jasmine was a rare one that you had to really
I've
sort
seen
of
her
hunt
about
for.
quite a bit.
I'm going to have to get Jasmine, because we got Aladdin, but we didn't get Jasmine. I want to make him kiss. So, yeah. Oh, well. But the game has come to an end because of finance, and LEGO Dimensions kind of making the market sparse.
Sticking the knife in.
It looks like essentially what Disney have done is they've preempted a drop in profits. Now, again, for better or worse, LEGO Dimensions, fantastic property. I do not have the finance to indulge in it.
I don't have the interest because they have a lot of it. They have a lot of properties.
I would like to.
None of the ones I'm interested.
I would like to get the main game pack and play the main game, because you go through a bunch of worlds as part of the story, and you meet characters like the Doctor and Emmett Brown and the Portal stuff. Like, you meet all these characters in the main campaign.
Mm-hmm.
But then I could see myself going, oh, I'll get this level pack, and oh, I'll get this level pack, and I've spent a lot of money and invested a lot of time into Disney Infinity, and I feel like that has been very rewarding, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I don't feel like I've been just shelling out money to a company, because in essence, that's what we've been doing. We've been giving Disney wads of cash.
Giving Disney, the biggest entertainment company in the world, more money.
But I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I don't regret it. And I feel like with LEGO Dimensions, I'd just be doing the cycle anew, and I'm like, no, I'm an Infinity boy.
And it's Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Well,
fuck Warner Brothers.
Hey!
Sorry,
apologise immediately.
And I echoed it.
Oh, right, that's fine.
So it's
then.
fine.
You'd rather die on your feet. You know what I'm saying?
I would. I would rather die on my feet than on my knees.
Yeah.
It's a fucking stupid thing to say.
But
I'd rather not die. How about that?
So the email went out to we unhappy few in the Disney Infinity community. This last week, actually, wasn't it? Basically saying,
yeah, your internet's working again, so I'm going to pull it up now. But it's basically warning us that all the online features of the game are going to start disappearing. And for some versions of the game, like the Steam and mobile versions, that means the game itself.
Yeah.
Because the mobile versions particularly were, you didn't use the figures. You had little codes that came with the figures that then unlocked them in that game, or you could just buy the figures as like DLC, because you weren't actually buying physical figures. So you can't.
Which also means if you're eBaying your cards, for example, may as well. Because I've seen people do that, so people can have digital versions of the characters. Maybe stop, because there's not going to be any market for that now.
Yeah,
no one's going to want them. No one's going to need them, and it's not like you can go, but it's rare. It's an unused digital card. People are like, there's no way I can check that it's unused. So what's the point?
So basically, if you've got Disney Infinity 2 on the PC or mobile, you can't buy anything in game for that now. Yeah. And on September 30th, all the mobile and the PC games are disappearing.
Yeah.
They're gone.
They'll be gone.
You'll be able to play them again.
If you've got it already on Steam and on your mobile, you've got it, but you can't get it again from that point on.
Yeah, won't be able to download it again or anything.
She is dead.
And on...
She is dead.
On March 3rd, 2017, all the online services and community features for Disney Infinity, so downloading toy boxes that people have made,
uploading your own toy box,
all that stuff, it will be discontinued.
So basically, we've got...
any online trophies, you got to get them by then. You got to get them by March.
We have basically, 7-8 months-ish. 9 months to take full advantage. If you're a Disney Infinity player, or you've ever wanted to give it a try, and you go in and picking up pre-owned ones, or you want to borrow a copy off somebody, for the next 9 months, enjoy it as much as you can, because you'll still be able to play the level packs and everything after this. But as far as making toy boxes to share, the end is nigh. Enjoy it, team. Bloody enjoy it.
It always makes me sad when they shut down stuff like that.
Because it feels ahead of it. It feels premature, doesn't it?
And there's no way to really preserve that kind of stuff.
No.
Like all MMOs that go offline and stuff like that. There are scenes dedicated to trying to emulate those servers. But
it was like the original Warcraft and stuff, isn't it? There's things like that, and that's that's the saddest part. But console it's too tough to do, and it's also going to be kind of sad for brick and mortar game stores, because a big part of their pull for the younger custom as well is figures from these games.
I don't know, having worked in a brick and mortar game store, that shit just takes a lot of space. I was working in a brick and mortar game store around the time of Tony Hawk Ride.
Oh Christ!
Rock Band and Guitar Hero at its most, and we just had tons of that shit. Now, albeit these individual items don't take up as much space as the band games did, which have also made a comeback recently. But there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. And they're not shifting. I mean, one of the reasons I heard from Disney pulling it as well is that sales weren't expected. Like, they made... This is an anecdotal figure. I don't know if I've ever had official confirmation on this, but it's from a story that Patrick Klepek wrote over at Kotaku about the downfall of Disney Infinity. Apparently, they made about 2 million Hulk figures.
That sentence alone is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
The downfall of Disney Infinity. Oh,
but they apparently made about...
I mean, it contradicts itself. The downfall of Infinity.
They apparently made about 2 million Hulk figures and only sold 1 million.
I mean,
So
that makes sense.
1 million unsold Hulk figures.
If you'd have sold the Hulk back in, say, the summer of 2012, he would have sold like frickin' gangbusters.
And they made a bunch of Yondus and no one bought Yondu and shit like that.
Well, no,
like,
it's
well,
Yondu. I mean, no offense, but it's Yondu.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got Yondu, we've got Ronin because I put them on my Amazon wish list, and one week they both dropped down to £6. So I went, 12 quid to complete the Guardians. Okay, boom.
I'm gonna have a quick look at Amazon now and see if any of that stuff's going cheap.
I think what game stores and HMVs in the UK need to do is
they're not discounting their stuff at all. They've
they
discounted
should
Disney
do.
Infinity 2 stuff, but they're not discounting Disney Infinity 3 stuff.
I understand that for 3 because I guess it is still current enough. But what they need to do is they need to knock the 1 and 2 characters down to like 2 for £10.
Yeah,
because then they'll sell. Like if I'm an HMV and I'm like, oh look, there's Jasmine and who else have I not got?
To be fair,
I've got all the Marvel ones from number 2. So I'll be like, oh look, there's Hulkbuster. I can't use him, but he's a pretty statue.
To be fair, a lot of those places
I'll
have
spend
actually sold through their 1 and 2 inventory.
Big Asda mega stores do good deals on them, actually.
Actually, yeah, I was at Asda, the Asda in Trafford not long ago when I got
the Walmarty Asdas,
I got
the
Cap
massive ones,
and Hulk. I think for like £6 each. I think I need to go back there and pick up Loki and stuff.
Okay.
I want to I want to get the Spider-Man stuff, but I need to get the level packs.
Yeah, Spider-Man's a good level pack actually. It's pretty fun, and you can use Hulk and who else is it that crosses over into Spider-Man? It's Hulk and Iron Man crosses over into Spider-Man.
Iron Man crosses over into them all then, because he crosses over into Guardians.
Well, he's with the starter, so I think that was their way of going,
of course,
here you go, everybody, you've got a character that can play in all of them. That way, if you bought the starter pack instead of the individual game, when you get the other worlds, you have at least one character all the time that can cross over with them.
I mean, they're not really coming down, even on Amazon. Like
Amazon,
the
home of family value. That's Wilkinson.
It's still like, yeah, it's just a bit. I mean, you can get the Lone Ranger for £4, but that was a terrible movie anyway.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think there's only one thing left to say, really, and that's to raise a glass in the name of Disney Infinity. Disney Infinity is dead, dying. Long live Disney Infinity. There we go.
There we go.
There's nothing in this glass.
Or you can get the Guardians of the Galaxy playset for $9.95.
That's good, because on release they were like £30. That's pretty good. It's a good set as well. We played some together. It's a pretty wicked set.
The Spider-Man set is still £25 though.
That was Spider-Man. And also it's based on Ultimate Spider-Man, so Disney XD viewers will still be asking for that stuff for Christmas, for example. It's Spider-Man and Nova, isn't it? With the level pack.
Yeah.
Right. Speaking of drinks...
yes.
I'd like to tell you a tale.
I followed your social media presence on this.
Yeah, on Monday, Lucy rarely gets sort of, I guess, mornings off, and rarely will she get sort of like 2 days in a row off, where it's like 2 full days, and she doesn't have to worry about an end of a shift or a start of a shift. So she had Monday off, and she had Tuesday off. And we decided, on Monday night, sod it. We're a bit like we're looking after our money at the moment, so we're not like splashing.
I try and look after my money all the time.
But we've got...
Otherwise, it just gets yourself lost.
Well, yes, but... I flashed my rabbit! I've lost £1!
It's like a small child, just tie it to your wrist, or just keep very tight hold of it, or it just buggers off.
I call my wallet Jason. Jason! So... Jason! 4 cutscenes later, why is he still yelling it?
Jason!
But we realised that we have a bit of Jack Daniels in the house, got a bit of vodka in the house, and we thought, do you know what? Let's play a drinking game. And the reason I suggested that was because I found this brilliant Tumblr, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. They don't know we're giving him a shout out, but I'm going to give him a shout out because they're worth checking out. We're not taking any money for this.
Because we're already taking money from Marvel.
And they're, wads of cachet.
We don't need to take any money.
And Wilkinson's apparently the home of family value. Yay! So, these guys have a very, very small following. Every single blog has only got about 6 notes maximum, so it's not, they're not quite well known, which is why I want to kind of boost the signal. But we played a drinking game to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, because we'd been talking recently about we've not watched it in ages. Let's do it. And I'd found this Tumblr just randomly scrolling through my Tumblr feed, and someone had reblogged something of theirs. They're called Film Drunkies, as in Film Drunkies, but filmdrunkies.tumblr.com. They've been running since September 2014. They sporadically post. They'll sort of do a dump of posts, maybe every 2 months. As far as I can tell, they are a couple called Stephen and Chris. Problem drinking enthusiasts and disgusting lovers, they call themselves. We like to make recreational drinking regulation games for movies. And they rate everything. Their rating is amazing. Their rating for everything is how enjoyable something is. It's out of 5 Carol Channings. And how difficult the drinking game based around said movie is out of 5 Stockard Channings. So, just a warning. I know we have a few younger listeners. So I just want to reiterate Go to bed. And if you're under 18, we don't condone your involvement in any of this. But if you're over 18, please, good God, give this a go. Because the other day, Lucy and I tried the Rocky Horror Picture Show drinking game. She with vodka, me with JD. And this is the sort of filth we were brought into. I had to copy the rules onto my phone so I could check them. So, this is the kind of rules we're talking about here.
Yeah.
We watched Rocky Horror Picture Show, 35th anniversary UK version, because there's a US version.
What's the difference?
Apparently, the US version removes superheroes at the end, removes the closing from the criminologist, and removes the slow reprise of science fiction over the end credits because American film censors at the time thought it was too downbeat. So in theirs, everyone dies.
That's not what censors are for.
Yeah, I know. Everyone dies. Someone at the board classification went, there's too downbeat. American audiences won't like this. So they got rid of those ends. So basically, Frank gets shot, the house takes off, and then the credits play with an upbeat reprise of Time Warp playing over the end credits. That's it.
But what happened to Brad and Janet?
When the midnight screenings started in the States becoming regular, they reissued a print to make more copies of it and stuff to send out. And they accidentally did the UK one. So the US one was quickly eradicated. But for authenticity, on the 35th anniversary Blu-ray, the US version is an option. Which is odd. But anyway. Also, the menu is made up of, fake film posters in the style of, 30s horrors.
Brilliant.
It's so good! So, yeah. These were the rules for Rocky Horror Picture Show from the Film Drunkies Tumblr. 1. Drink whenever a song starts. So drink whenever they sing. If they ever do a musical, which they do quite often, that is always the first rule. When someone starts to sing, drink. Take a shot for the time warp. And finish your drink during Sweet Transvestite. If you know that movie, you know that you've just taken a shot and about 30-40 seconds later, you're finishing a drink. Drink whenever something sexual happens. So, yeah, good luck. Drink consecutively more every time Dr. Frankenfurter bangs someone. Which happens at least 3 times in the movie. Drink whenever Rocky grunts. Drink any time they say, and we limited this to the Rocky scene. Because if you did this throughout the movie, you'd be dead. Drink whenever someone says Rocky or Janet. So we saved it for that. We saved it for that scene because at least then you could take a break when someone says Dr. Scott. Brad, so you have to drink sporadically. Drink every time Brad says "damn it." So the opening number is screwed.
Jesus,
this one's a common occurrence in their stuff. Drink anytime Tim Curry slays. So of course that one's objective because if you did it every time he was ridiculously brilliant, you'd be dead.
Yeah, you'd just be drinking. You'd just be on a drip feed.
Drink whenever someone screams.
Yeah.
Which is sort of there's a fair gap between each one in that movie.
Yeah.
Drink heavy every time you see the criminologist. So every time the criminologist comes in, big old gulp. drinks are doubled if it... On this rewatch, I realised his scenes are my favourite. And I think it's just because suddenly that's when the genre changes. And you realise this is a horror science fiction movie for genuine because he's holding a book that says The Denton Affair. It's like, oh my god, there's more? This guy studied more. I want to know more. And it makes me wonder why Shock Treatment was about Brad and Janet and not about another case. But anyway, that's a whole other discussion for another time. I like Shock Treatment.
I've never seen Shock Treatment.
It's really good. It's brilliant because it was due to like writers' strikes and film strikes and film companies at the time. The whole film was limited to inside a TV studio, but they made that part of the plot, and it works quite well. Plus, oh god, what's his name? Dame Edna Everage. Barry Humphries.
God.
He's in it, and he's phenomenal. And also, it's not a sequel. It just happens to have Brad and Janet in it.
Awesome.
It's like, okay, fair enough. Drinks are doubled if a scene doesn't take place in the castle. So, basically, Damn It, Janet, there's a light, the old Frankenstein place number, and superheroes at the end, because technically it doesn't take place in the castle.
Okay.
It takes place in the remains of the castle.
Okay.
Also, the opening credits and the end credits.
Yeah, alright.
And drink whenever it's weird or campy. Our advice, just don't put your drink down.
Yeah.
So...
It's weird and campy the whole way through.
I got through a... two full like, big tumblers. You know, our Adventure Time tumblers?
Yeah.
2 big tumblers of a double of Jack Daniels and Coke. As well as, eventually I ended up just taking a couple of shots, as well as shots of Jack Daniels. By the end of it, I felt woozy as hell. We had to limit it so that drinks, like take a drink, were sips. Because they were happening that frequently. We nearly died. So, thank you, Film Drunkies, for nearly killing me and my partner.
I think you did excellent work there.
To celebrate and to thank you, we're going to talk about a couple of your drinking games, and I want to see which ones you would play. I'm going to name films. I'm not going to name them all, but I'm going to name a bunch of films. Stop me if there's one you want to hear the rules for, and we'll have a look at a few of them.
All right.
And I think we should have a go at some point.
Okay.
So, from their original posts, we already have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, the drinking game. Jurassic Park, the drinking game. It's not a bad one, actually. Mamma Mia, the drinking game.
Absolutely not.
But maybe Aladdin, the drinking game.
I don't watch Aladdin drunk.
Well, do you?
I want like 80s action movies.
Do you now?
Yeah.
Okay, well on that note, it's
What
not
you
so
got?
much an action movie. Brave Little Toaster, the drinking game.
No, that's not an 80s action
Little
movie.
Shop of Horrors, the drinking game.
Well, that's a musical, so we'd definitely be drunk.
We would be slaughtered. The Mummy, the drinking game. This one's pretty good, actually. Mummy's quite good. Pokemon, the first movie.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Adam's Family Values.
Oh,
right.
God.
This one I want to play. Adam's Family Values, the drinking game. So here we go. They rate this 4.25 out of 5 Carol Channings for enjoyableness as a drinking game.
Okay.
Difficulty 3.5 out of 5 Stockard Channings.
All right.
The rules for Adam's Family Values, the drinking game, are drink whenever they say Debbie, which is a lot.
Yep.
Drink whenever Morticia and Gomez get frisky.
Yep.
Which is a lot. Drink whenever Angelica Houston slays.
Yep, always.
E.g. serves you to filth.
Yep. Yep.
4.
Right.
Drink whenever there is lightning or rain.
Very drunk already.
Drink whenever one of the family members has an unsuccessful encounter with normal people.
Whole movie.
Take a drink when Cousin It is on screen.
Yeah, best bits.
Drink whenever Debbie is grossed out.
Whole movie.
Quite a lot. I mean, she gets engaged to Fester. So, similarly, drink whenever Debbie is a bitch.
Whole movie.
Drink whenever Wednesday freaks out a normal kid.
Oh, those camp scenes are so good.
Take a lofty drink when the kids are re-educated. Take a shot when it gets to Gomez and Morticia's dance number.
Yes.
Drink whenever the main theme song or melody plays. Drink whenever someone says Gomez. You'd be dead. Take a shot when Debbie says, move out of the road, because it's weird and hilarious.
Yes.
And drink whenever the kids try to harm the baby, which is mostly in Act 1.
You're dead.
So you're dead. What's nice is they always do a before and after. They always say you start it like this, and here we have a picture of Morticia in all her glory, and you'll finish it like this. We have a picture of Debbie post-electric shock. And they always end their things on a Simpsons quote as well, which I find quite endearing. We'll have a look at one or two more.
Child's Play.
Child's Play, the drinking game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See what I mean? They're like 2 or 3 notes per thing. Like, they need more, because they do a full write-up of what they think of the movie, they make jokes, they do comparisons, like, it's really funny. Child's Play drinking game. Here we go. Enjoyableness 3 out of 5. Difficulty only 2.5 out of 5. Which on one of their other blogs, there was another one with a small rating, and they said so. Basically, the sort of drinking game you'll play before you get up to work, go to work in the morning, or before you go to church on a Sunday. Like play this one. Child's play. Drink whenever someone says Chucky. Drink whenever someone dies. Drink whenever there is blood, which is not often in the movie, actually.
It's not a very bloody movie.
Drink whenever someone swears.
It's not a very sweary movie.
Drink anytime Chucky raises his knife.
None of that happens
So
quite-
basically, in the third act, you're going to be drinking a lot. Drink whenever they say good guy.
very drunk by the end.
Drink whenever someone says Mrs. Barkley. Drink anytime someone says Andy.
Drink every time
Jesus.
someone says Niles Barkley.
I
That's
remember
a weird
when.
one.
I remember.
a weird
Drink
rule.
anytime someone says Andy. That's a killer. Drink anytime they say toy or doll. Drink for every terrible 80s effect.
All the effects in that movie is a great 80s effects, so that's a rubbish one.
Drink anytime Catherine Hicks overacts.
Oh yeah.
This I think this should be a shot. Drink whenever they say Eddie Caputo, because his name is said in full about 3 or 4 times. I think a shot would be better.
It's a fun name though, isn't it?
And drink whenever the camera's in Chucky's point of view.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And take a shot when Chucky kills that black man just because.
Racists!
They do point out in some of the Tim Burton
Racists.
drinking games, like take a shot whenever you see a black person, because you'll find out it doesn't happen very often, and you'll be surprised by the end of it.
He doesn't like black men, does Tim Burton?
Lucy and I. Right, okay. Like, clarify your statements right now. But there aren't many African American actors in Tim Burton
I think
movies.
that's fine. I think that's a fine statement.
Lucy and I tried the other day to figure it out, and I was like, who have we got? And we went through his entire filmography, and off the top of our heads, we could think of Harvey Dent in Batman, who is a prominent role.
I think it's recast Batman Forever.
I think it's recap, but that's not Tim Burton's decision, so
Oh, that's true.
whatever. Then, apparently the Doctor, who looks after the elder version of the character in Big Fish. So you see a lot of him, but he's not a main character.
I like
There's a
Big Fish.
family in Mars Attacks. And that's
Okay.
about it. That's about
Okay.
it. Sam Jackson in the upcoming Miss Peregrine.
Ah, yes.
There you go.
Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, the most Tim Burton title there's ever been.
And the worst trailer ever because it shows the whole film.
Ooh, Hellraiser.
Raising Hell.
Jesus wept.
Here we go.
Oh, look at
Hellraiser
that
the
picture.
drinking game.
I love the effects in Hellraiser. It's so good. I love it.
This movie, in short, is really, really dumb, so we can't figure out why it has more sequels than The Land Before Time. But it's considered a classic horror movie, so it fits in perfectly with our cliched spooky theme.
Oh, they don't like it.
Oh, well, that's enjoyability of the drinking game, I
They
think.
don't like it.
Drink
No, they
anytime,
don't like the movie.
Drink anytime the movie's too stupid.
Nope, that never happens.
Drink anytime they say Julia.
Yeah, alright.
Drink anytime they say Larry.
Yeah.
Drink once for every Cenobite you see, every time they appear.
Oh, that's nice.
Drink whenever someone says body.
Yeah.
10-second chug for the hallway slug monster.
Yeah, I love
You
that.
can see the fucking rigging behind it. Didn't anyone check the dailies that day?
Fuck you.
Drink whenever they mention sex or pleasure.
Yeah, all the time.
Drink consecutively more each time you see the box.
Yes.
Drink any time the movie is just too 80s to stand.
It's perfectly 80s. It's as 80s as it can possibly
As
be.
the day is long.
Yeah.
But let's
It's perfectly
that's one to
80s.
check out. Muppet Christmas
Nope.
Carol, the drinking game.
No,
is
drink
pretty
every
good.
time. He's got no eyes. He's got no
Oh,
bloody eyes.
Wait, they've got I don't know if we scroll past it. They have Muppets Treasure Island, the drinking game, and that one sounds phenomenal.
I don't want to go through all the drinking games, Christopher. We've got other things to talk about.
Well, we don't have a drink, so we need to fix that
Yeah, exactly.
right now. No, we're not playing a drinking game
I
right
think
now.
that's all of them, isn't it?
But I want to give it a Catwoman, the drinking game's worth a look as well,
Oh,
and
dear
Moulin
me.
Rouge, the drinking game, because I can't stand that movie, and I feel it would make it more bearable to me.
There's not enough 80s action movies on there for my taste.
Aliens was in there. Did you see Aliens?
Yeah, I didn't say there weren't any. I said there weren't enough.
Well, there you go. That is not only our shout out to you, filmdrunkies.tumblr.com, but also our recommendation: some more 80s action movies.
Like Commando.
Yes, Matt.
I watched Commando the other night, and it just got me in a bit of a Schwarzenegger kick.
Commando. Right, hang on. His character is John Merrick.
John Matrix.
John Matrix.
John Merrick's the Elephant Man.
Merrick's the Elephant.
Can you
Oh, right.
imagine Arnold Schwarzenegger playing the Elephant Man?
Let off some steam, baby.
I am not an animal. I am a man.
I'm a man.
No, do the voice, Arnold. I am doing the voice. It's my natural voice.
I'm the elephant man.
Commando's fucking great.
Commando is a good movie.
It's fucking great.
Tell those who don't know what Commando is the basic plot of Commando.
Right, so...
Because basic plot is the most perfect way to sum up the plot of Commando.
So Arnold Schwarzenegger is John Matrix, retired special forces dude, lives in the mountains with his little daughter, Alyssa Milano. And then...
Is Alyssa Milano playing the daughter?
Yeah.
I did not know know that.
And
Okay.
then he gets someone's knocking off members of his old unit, so she gets kidnapped by Freddie
the
Mercury.
campest band of mercenaries in the world.
She gets kidnapped by Freddie Mercury on steroids. And basically,
Take a drink for accurate description.
This dictator who Arnie helped depose is like, you have to go back to the country I came from, that you deposed me from, and kill the guy you installed so I can take it over again, or we're going to kill your daughter. And then they put him on a plane, and then at which point he escapes from the plane and then goes to kill everyone and get his daughter back. Like, they completely ignore the subplot of the plot of him being like sent to Valverde, which is this fictional South American country, which gets referenced in other films.
Does it?
Yeah.
As a nod to Commando?
Yeah, he gets referenced in Predator and Die Hard, which was originally written as a Commando sequel.
Shit the bed,
Well,
really?
in a sec.
How odd.
And and then he just proceeds to kill everyone, and somehow this woman who he meets in the airport tags along for the ride, and he has a sidekick because
It's the 80s action movie.
and they needed to put a woman in it for eye candy, I guess, so she never gets her boobs out, which is fine. I'm definitely in support of women not getting their boobs out for no reason on film, but it just strikes me that a film from that era didn't try and pull that trick.
Are you saying the 80s is just full of boobs?
1985, it's like dead set in the middle of the 80s as well. No, the whole Die Hard being Commando 2 sequel thing is that Die Hard is based on a novel, which is a sequel to another novel, of which they made a movie starring Frank Sinatra.
Okay.
They optioned... So they asked the guy who wrote the novel to write another novel so they could option the movie rights for it.
Right.
Which, this is Fox. They did.
Okay.
They optioned the movie rights for it, offered it to Frank Sinatra, who didn't want to do it, went back into the vault.
Okay.
So then the guy who made Commando, the guy who wrote Commando, is looking for a sequel to Commando, digs out the script for this adaptation of this detective novel, and he's like, oh, we should make this.
This could be a lot more explodey.
We should make this, but we have to offer it to Frank Sinatra first. Frank Sinatra turns it down. It gets briefly retooled into a Commando sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Then Arnie turns it down. Then it gets made into Die Hard.
How odd is that?
It's really
a detective film retooled into a sequel to a film that is completely not about detection and intellectual breakdowns of the criminal element.
There's a point in the middle of the film where Arnie kills Bill Duke's character without getting any information off him. So he has no idea where to go next. So there's a sequence where they just search around his car until they find a clue.
Okay, but...
And they find like a receipt for airplane fuel.
But
so
it's
they know
not a
where
detective movie, though.
No, but like...
Anyway, that's like saying that Batman is the world's greatest detective and pointing to freaking like Affleck as Batman, for example. It's like... It's a bit more punchy than detective.
Batman's never very detective-y in the movies, though.
No,
he has there's that weird scene in The Dark Knight
there's
where
a
he
bit of
shoots
it in the
guns into
first
bricks,
Batman. There's a bit of it in the
which
first
just makes
Batman.
no sense.
Yeah, that's stupid. There's a bit of it in the first Batman with like the products thing, but it misses out a crucial scene, the scene where he and Alfred go shopping, which I would have liked to have seen. It's a giant montage of them just like skipping around the richest shops in town.
I hope they don't buy brand X.
Again and again. Although in the 60s Batman there's a lot of detective work, and by detective work I mean they all stand around in the commissioner's office and they all like accidentally figure out who everyone is involved by Robin just sort of suggesting names. But it took place in the C, the letter C, Catwoman.
Or they go back to the Batcave and use all the conspicuously labelled machines.
Oh my god, I love them. I love 60s Batman so freaking much.
But yeah, no,
Commando's not exactly subtle.
It's not. There's nothing. It's so violent and macho with its tongue in cheek, and then all the homoerotic stuff with Bennett is like. It's not intentional, but it's just so amplified by the fact that it's Vernon Wells being like Freddie Mercury on steroids, by his own words, in a costume that's too small for him because he replaced the original person who was cast as Bennett after six weeks to filming.
Oh, good God!
He had Vernon Wells auditioned for it, and then
so he was like sort of maybe the second choice.
Yeah, didn't get it, and then they fired this other dude who was like, Vernon, come and do it. We haven't got time to make a new costume for you, so just wear the old one. And he's got these tight.
But it's really tight. Put it on, Bennett.
It's really tight. It's really tight, mate. Oh,
put it on in a bath. You'll be fine.
He's got this like really tight leather pants, like a black knit shirt with like a grey knit vest over it. That's like maybe supposed to be chainmail, but not, and like a biker necklace.
It's so
and he's
odd.
got a Freddie Mercury moustache, and he loves knives.
I don't need a gun!
I need a gun to kill you, John! I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna kill you now! But Vernon Wells, I mean, if you've seen The Road Warrior, you know Vernon Wells can do outbursts like that, because he's Wes in The Road Warrior. He's the assless chap's biker dude with the crossbow. And he has the whole bit in Road Warrior where he's like, no! We go in now! We kill! No talk! We kill! Yes! So there's that whole bit for the Road Warrior. So, you know, Vernon Wells can bring the thunder.
In case you didn't know, Matt really likes Mad Max movies.
It's like, oh, it's so good. No! We kill!
What should your dogs of war be?
No, he doesn't say it. He just says, soon, my dog of war.
Oh, I thought it'd be still. See, that shows how...
Still.
That shows how much I need to rewatch.
Still, my dog of war. You must do it my way.
I like to retool classic catchphrases from 80s films good. Just to sort
Maybe, I can't remember if it is soon or be still.
Just to make people feel weird.
Because every time I think of that, I also think about the South Park episode on queefing, where the woman who goes down to queefs that speech was paraphrased. Oh, so I just have that in my head a lot of the time.
I just like retooling 80s dialogue. Did you see my stupid Twitter poll the other day?
No.
I asked everyone, what is best in life? And the options were crushing your enemies, driving them before you, or their women, lamenting.
But yeah, I mean, Commando's weird. Bennett's great. Like this...
It's got some of the greatest 80s like comebacks or one-liners for an action film.
Where Bennett's chasing Alyssa Milano, because she escapes from the room where she's being held, and he goes in to kill her, and she's not there. She's chasing after her, and he's just mincing through the corridors. Like it looks like he's walking on his tiptoes. He's got these super tight pants, and they're really tight on him, so he looks really top-heavy and out of shape. Even though Vernon Wells isn't, because you see, just look at him in The Road Warrior.
He's just being squeezed upwards. He's just being squeezed. But it gives Bennett such a significant... The thing is, we all remember Bennett, if not for his performance, for what he looks like.
Oh, man.
You'll never forget once you've seen him.
No, he's a great... And he's not even supposed to be like the dictator dude.
He's not the main villain. He's like, the henchman. He's Jaws. He's Oddjob.
Dan Hedaya plays the dictator dude who's supposed to be the main villain and just gets chumped. Like,
by Bennett.
Straight up chumped
Let off some steam,
by
Bennett.
Arnie in his shotgun. Arnie in his that whole sequence where he's walking around firing the M60 machine gun and the belt gets longer in each sequence. So every time you cut back to it, the bullet belt is longer. It's ridiculous.
This is knows how to act Arnie as well. This is Arnie who's not quite on the level where he can handle a leading role that has a lot of dialogue.
It was his first big role after the Terminator.
But it's after he started taking acting lessons because he was like, I need to up my game on this. If I'm going to do more of these, I need to be better.
He delivers some amazing one-liners in this. Just some fucking stellar moments. Like everything with Sully. I like you, Sully. You're a funny guy. So I'm going to kill you last. And when I promised to kill you last, Sally, yes, Matrix, you did. I lied. Drops him.
Why? The second greatest dropping of someone seen in the 80s after RoboCop.
It's a dummy, and it's just the sound that the actor dubs over.
Because you get the dummy in Commando, and in RoboCop you get the stop motion too long armed thing.
So good.
The 80s has some great dummies dropping from the sky scenes.
The Alan Rickman in Die Hard.
Yes. Oh god. It's like,
that's so good.
Good god. I have a Commando story.
Tell me a Commando story.
So, a place I used to work, I won't say just, for reasons, but it rhymes with Idi there is a bar on site there. Again, I won't say the name, but it rhymes with Menementh. And all this will be clear if you just do some Googling. There is a cinema screening room in this bar, at this workplace. And when it first opened, myself and a colleague approached them with the idea of, hey, could we maybe, a bunch of us at work have all been talking about screening 80s films. We were in this big 80s action kick at the time. We said, we want to, find a place where we can all watch them. We were thinking maybe doing like one of our houses or something, having like a barbecue or something like that. We went, no, let's ask these screening guys. We said, can we have your screening room? There's a screening room with seating room for about 25 people, and it's made up of couches and armchairs. And it's a cinema screen about as big as sort of like, as tall as a standard room in a house, and as wide as you'd imagine proportionate to that.
Mm-hmm.
So like where we're sat, from this wall in front of us to maybe the door there. So it's big screen, like a tiny cinema screen.
It's a big old room.
Tiny cinema, really comfy seats. And we said, could we maybe, and my colleague is the one who finally brokered the deal, he said, could we, like, how much does it cost to rent the screen? And they said it's like £300 basically to rent it for 2 hours, for example.
Yeah.
We were like, oh God, that's a lot. Even if we all chipped in. So what we did in the end was we said, look, if we all give you a £5, that's at least sort of 100 and something quid toward the loaning of the screen. But it's early days, no one's using it yet, so it's not making money. So here's 100 odd quid anyway. Plus, we're all coming straight from work, so we're all going to be buying drinks and we're all going to buy meals, because you can have meals at that bar and bring them into the screen.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh great, because that meant they were going to make at least 400, 500 quid that night off of this bunch of people watching film. It happened. We made it happen, and my God, it was worth it, because we picked Commando.
So good.
Which was amazing, because I'd never seen it in
good.
full. I'd only ever seen, like... at that point, I'd only ever seen, like... You know, you tune into, like, Channel 4 in the middle of the night, and you catch the last 45 minutes of it. That was my experience of Commando up to that point. About 10 of the people there had never seen it, so they were in for a treat. We all just basically drank lots of beer, ate lots of, like... I had battered chicken, like a chicken burger with a coleslaw thing and all these chips, and a salsa dip. And a couple pints, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was just so good, and it was worth it just because at the beginning, the montage with John and his daughter, myself and the colleague, I'm just going to say his name because he does a brilliant, like, the Arnie impression, Andy Day, who older listeners may know because of their younger kids watching him on a certain young kids channel.
Yeah.
Andy Day and I spent that entire opening montage just making noises that Arnold would be making in our heads at this point. So they're eating the ice cream. It's like they're eating the ice cream. He gets someone his nose, right? And it's like oh, the ice cream. That's gonna We're just making these sounds. We're all merry enough at this point already. We were all like 2 drinks in. We were just pissing ourselves with laughter. So it added this extra dimension, and it made me go, why can't we Rocky Horror this? Why can't Commando be a midnight movie with bizarre participation rituals? Because you could do that.
Like, what would you participate in? Like, cutting a dude's arm off?
Everyone bring a balloon, so that during the use of the big minigun, everyone pop their balloon at the same time. Well, what's it called? The thing with the bloody strain of ammo that's...
The M60.
M60. Yeah. Get to that point, everyone bring a balloon, so that everyone pops their balloon, like, randomly throughout that moment, just so you can have the pops in the room.
That whole battle sequence at the end.
Everyone buy ice cream at the respective theatre, so you can all get it on your nose during the opening credits. You can yell out the catchphrases and the one-liners as they happen. I'm not saying do Rocky Horror thing where, like, they shadowcast it, where they have, like, people performing it on stage in front of the screen, miming to the soundtrack.
No.
But if people want to come along dressed up in camouflage, they can more than do it. Come on, if The Room can do it, Commando could do it. And at the end, if you had a Q&A with one of the filmmakers, you wouldn't be doing it the whole time thinking, do they realise we think it's shit? I don't understand. You'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe we've watched Commando with a load of other nutters who love Commando, and here's, like, the screenwriter. This is amazing.
It's so good.
That'd be so cool. Little epilogue to the story. Sorry, hang on, the police have found us.
We have to go.
Yeah. Little epilogue to the story. They'll never take me alive! I don't need a gun! Little epilogue to the story. After that night, we'd made them £500 odd, and we checked the bookings for this screen a couple of weeks later to see that they weren't getting regular bookings. What was happening was production companies might book it during the day to screen something to someone. So we were like, at night, nothing. And we were like, well, could we maybe do a regular thing of this? Like, just like once a fortnight, we give them some cash, we give them a small deposit from everyone, and then obviously we spend a load of money on food. That'd be great. Let's do that. And because of how successful that first night was, when we went back to negotiate it, they immediately turned us away because they went, no, you can pay £300. Because they obviously thought, well, they enjoyed it, they'll come back. It's like, Well, we're not paying £300. No.
No.
If we pay £300, we better all be getting oral sex whilst we're watching the movie. Because that
I don't know if that'd be
is a lot of money to
when you're watching
spend.
Commando.
When the last time we proved, look, we'll give you a third of that, more than a third of that, toward the screen, and we will spend a lot of money on your food and drink.
Okay.
So we never did it again.
No. I
Which
can see how
sucks.
that would put you off.
Yeah. The screening's relocated to a small group of 5 of us to a sound engineer colleague's house, where we would we will occasionally we'll just do a rallying call. One of us will put a text out and go, "Should we do it?" Yeah, because he's got a cinema room.
Excellent.
So we'll all have like chili and drink beer and watch Aliens. Or I think the last one we watched was.
We need to have a Schwarzenegger season.
We should do. Oh.
What about
Oh.
Conan the Barbarian? What about Red Heat?
Oh my god.
What about Raw Deal?
Oh, I've never seen Raw Deal.
It's not good.
Okay, maybe I should keep it that
should watch
way.
it. It's not good.
Oh god. What's your favourite Arnie? We will do an Arnie special one day. We'll have to. But what's your favourite Arnie movie?
I don't know. There's so many. I really like Predator. I really like
Predator. Oh yes.
Last Action Hero.
That's
A
great
lot of
because
people
not
don't
many people like it, but
I love it because it's so self-aware.
it's
That's
so
the point
self-aware,
of it.
and the
It's
casting of Arnie is perfect for that
Yeah.
because it's the ultimate. Yes, we're trying to make this look like everything we're parodying. So we've got the guy from a bunch of the films this film is parodying.
And the famous
to play the
comedian
role.
Arnold Braunschweiger. So good.
Is that the one
fake
Stallone's
trailer of
Stallone's
him
the
in
Terminator?
Yeah, in the universe of the movie that Arnold Schwarzenegger's character inhabits, Sylvester Stallone was the Terminator. And there's a movie poster of Sylvester Stallone in Terminator 2. It's great. It's the best movie.
But also Robert Patrick's there as the T-1000 in a very brief cameo.
As one of the police officers in Jack Slater, is it? Yeah, Jack Slater's precinct. Like they're all like cops. It's a cartoon cat.
Yeah.
Cop and the T-1000 and like I'm pretty sure there's some police academy people.
Here's a question.
What?
This is something that I want to follow up someday.
No.
Okay. Well, that's it for us this week. I've always wondered what movie character, not actor, what movie character has cameoed in more properties than others? Because I think off the top of my head, it's only 2 cameos, and it's Robert Patrick as the T-1000. Because he's definitely the T-1000 or the cop the T-1000 is trying to look like in Last Action Hero. In itself, it's a reference to Terminator. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But he's the T-1000. That's who he looks like. That's, they give each other sort of like a knowing nod.
Yeah.
The T-1000 also cameos in Wayne's World 2.
Yeah.
In the bit with, "Have you seen this boy?" And then he drives off. But that also begs the question, what cameos are in continuity with the movie they're from? Because you could, if you wanted to in your head,
you link them all,
tie Wayne's World to Terminator 2 and say they exist in the same world.
They do.
Like you could, if you wanted to, you could say Casper takes place in the same world as Ghostbusters, but Ray's grown a mustache. Because that's Ray Stantz, that's Dan Aykroyd in full costume.
Yeah.
And the ghosts in Casper are ridiculous looking, but so are the ghosts in Ghostbusters. They're all weird looking and strange. Mm-hmm. So you could buy it. I'm curious. I think we should follow this up one day.
I'll look into it.
Because, good God, that'd be an interesting one.
That's an interesting...
And also, who has made the most movie cameos, full stop?
Oh, Stanley.
I'd have to...
Is it Stanley or Hitchcock?
I was going to say, you'd have to check Hitchcock. Because not just his own work, he cameos in other people's work too. Yeah. And also TV counts as well. Hitchcock appeared in a lot of Alfred Hitchcock Presents stuff and other people's shows. Oh. So, yeah. And also he cameoed in a lot of people's photos in the background in posh restaurants, filling up his jowls with 3 steaks and souffle. I think we should move on to some questions and call it a day. Because I don't know about you, but I could kill for a Philly cheesesteak right now. And the best Philly cheesesteaks are available from, I don't know, but I was just trying to see if we could get another sponsor.
I could kill for a Wii. And not like a console.
I
just use the toilet.
Have you finished your drink?
Yeah.
Just do it in there.
Okay.
Do it in the glass. So, a few questions from you guys that was asked the last couple of weeks. If you do want to get in touch, by the way, you can get in touch with us on Twitter at the Matty Watt and at officialcdj, or, as we recommend to you, do get in touch over Big Damn Cast email. We got an email this week, actually.
We did get an email this week.
We got
an email!
To the Big Damn
I'm gonna
Cast,
look it up.
bigdamncontact@gmail.com. Just get in touch with us there, boys and girls, because by Jove, we will definitely reply to you if you do it there, because we can get access to the inbox. If we do it to our Twitter, we might miss it, you see.
Mm.
But here's a few tweet ones that have been put forward to us, and they're very superhero related.
Yeah.
What would your powers be if you were a superhero? That's a pretty common one. The problem is, you're asking two massive nerds, so we're always going to pick obscure superpowers that would benefit us or people around us very easily. So, reality warping powers, I guess.
Too easy.
It is too easy, but then you can cover the whole gamut. Let's narrow it down. Narrows it down. Calcium narrows it down. Simple power, like basic, because they're all superpowers, but like, sort of the standards, for example. So like, like fire powers or flight or super strength. Like we have to pick something along those lines, and it can't be a power that necessarily fills in other powers, makes other powers a possibility. So reality warping we can't do. If you've got to pick from the simple lot, I'm gonna pick flying because it would be an amazing sensation.
Yeah, flying's good,
and you could beat all traffic. You could beat traffic forever.
Mm.
Like I got a gig on Monday, a voice gig, and I walked to it, and just to see if I could do it, because normally I'd get the bus to this place and then walk the rest of the distance. It took me an hour and 35 minutes to walk there. I was knackered when I arrived, and on the way back I did the half walk, half bus thing instead. But worth it, exercise. But also, if I could have flown, man, if I could have flown, right there.
I'd like a healing factor like Wolverine's.
Ooh.
Be forever young, well, forever middle-aged and grizzly.
It'd also be helpful because you have a cat.
Yeah.
You get scratched up a lot. I have scars all over my wrists and legs from months ago, 2 months ago from the cat.
I'd just be throwing myself up buildings all the time just for the lulz.
Oh, so you want a Captain Jack-esque healing factor?
No, I don't. No, you just not a tall building.
I mean, he got exploded. He got blown up to a skeleton and regenerated slowly. You think?
Did. Yeah.
Well, he got blown to like a fleck of skin, didn't he?
Yeah,
regenerated.
Wolverine's healing factor got crazy, and then took it away from him.
And then they decided, no, we won't mutilate Wolverine.
That's silly.
We'll mutilate Deadpool from now on, and we'll let Wolverine occasionally get injured badly.
What else you got?
We've got one from... that was from Nervesphere Game. Hey, Nervesphere Game. Daniel Potter, a.k.a. Lego Bookworm, asks, Lego Marvel superheroes or Lego DC superheroes? I guess we're talking the games. So Lego Batman versus Lego Marvel.
Lego Marvel. There's not much in it, though.
I'm going to say Lego Batman, specifically Lego Batman 3. Because the levels are great.
Yeah.
The levels are great, the Easter eggs are
Lego Batman
great, the DLC was fun, and the range of characters was the best.
I prefer Lego Marvel superheroes to Lego Batman and Lego Batman 2, but it's not much in it. It's pretty close. They're all pretty great.
Marvel superheroes is a good one. Lego Marvel Avengers not so much.
No,
Lego Marvel Avengers is fine.
But
it's fine.
Yeah.
It's very well made, but it feels like a retool of Lego Marvel superheroes with more movie-centric missions and things like that, and some very obscure characters to fill in the gaps that won't tie into the copyright feuds.
Well, like original Human Torch brackets Jim Hammond.
Yeah. Whereas obviously Lego Marvel superheroes, you can have the X-Men, you can have Fantastic Four, and there's no copyright issues around it. But yeah, if we're talking actual Lego sets, the Batman ones are pretty cool. I'm about to sell a batch actually, but I'm going to keep Arkham Asylum and the Batcave because they're too good. I don't want to get rid of Arkham Asylum; it's beautiful. But the others, I'm just like, I like them, but I've now put them away to make room. And I don't care that I've put them away, so I may as well put them on sale.
Yes.
Someone can get some happiness. They've continued. Lego Batman now is Lego DC in terms of the sets. Lego DC Universe. But they almost all of them still have a Batman in it in some way.
Yeah.
Because, no, they can't tell any good stories. No one else is compelling.
Magnet Suit Batman.
What?
Night Strike Batman. Sonar Blades Batman.
If they released Zebra print Batman, I would get it.
I've seen figures of the Rainbow Batman.
Oh,
that Silver Age storyline.
It's quite beautiful in a weird way.
Netflix.
And what's our email question? Sorry, what's the
Dan Rawlings sent in.
Hey Dan,
I've just started watching Preacher right now, and so far I'm enjoying it. Like you clearly enjoyed putting all of them in, as you mentioned in the podcast. Cassidy is awesome. Do you think that Joseph Gilgan would make a good Joker?
Ooh. I'm going to say yes, because it's a possibility now that you could do him in the CW shows.
Is it though? Because no one. We've got Tyler.
Superman is in Supergirl.
We've got Tyler
with his massive ass.
Tyler Hunklins.
Tyler, what you gonna do with all that junk inside that trunk? Hunklins.
Tyler Hunklins.
Who looks pretty cool.
Who looks like a great Superman.
Looks damn cool. That selfie with the young kid taking a selfie with him is one of the sweetest pictures. And it's also nice to see Superman smiling.
Yeah. And also wearing heels with his big bum.
Yeah, boy. Super ass. But in the world where we can have Superman, I don't see why. And Ra's al Ghul's been in Arrow. I don't see why one of these wouldn't at least go like, all right, for a season finale in one of these shows, let's have the Joker. Let's just do it.
Because you can't have Joker without Batman, and you need Batman.
Well, maybe that's how you do it.
They would never give you Batman.
Oh, I don't know if
they were never going to see Batman.
Superman's not a regular in Supergirl. He's appearing for a story.
I'm never going to see Batman in one of those shows.
We could totally see Joker.
We're not going to see Batman.
We could see Joker.
I have no interest in Joker without Batman.
I do.
Why?
I do.
Why?
I do.
What is Joker without Batman?
Because if you threw Joker in, say, Flash, you would legitimately give him a deadly threat to contend with. I'm not saying the Flash villains aren't deadly, but it's kind of there's a cartoony nature. Oh my god! You telling me you would pass up the opportunity to do an episode where the Joker meets the Trickster, where you would have Mark Hamill's Trickster with the Joker in it? So technically, you have two Jokers.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
I'd pass that up if there wasn't a Batman in it.
I would happily cast
if there
Cassidy as the Joker.
Oh yeah, Joseph Gilgan's great.
Well, that's how you tie. That's how you tie Batman in. That's how you tie Batman in and make the network happy without breaching their sort of like thing. Have Batman be the dude who rocks up at the very end, who's like, all right, I'm taking you in.
I'll do that.
Because then you can do him half shadowed. You can do fan service. It's sort of like a little highlight. There was Batman. He exists in this universe. I'd be happy with that. We know he exists because a bunch of his villains have been put away and shown up in other shows. Apparently, he's the person who put away all the Suicide Squad villains. That's his tie to the movie. He's the one who imprisoned them all. Yeah.
I mean, I have to watch season 2 of Arrow, though. I don't know if I want to make that commitment.
No one wants to make that commitment. Oh, no, I mean in Suicide Squad in the film.
Oh, yeah, in the film, yeah.
Batman's had offhanded mentions in the CW
Yeah, well,
show.
we know he exists in the films. It's set in the same universe as Batman vs. Barry Superman. You plum!
And finally, from Reese Charles. Hello, Reese. How you doing? Reese says, who's your favourite supervillain and why? We could do a whole episode on that, so let's do a short version of that now. Joker's my favourite supervillain.
Dr. Doom.
Cool! Yeah, great choice! I freaking love Dr. Doom. And I wish the world knew why he was so cool, outside of the people who know why he's so cool. I wish more people could find out how cool that is.
Doom.
Oh, God. And who would be your ideal actor or actress to play them? So that ties in with what we were saying before about Dwayne Johnson as Kraven would be amazing.
Dwayne Johnson as Kraven would be fabulous.
Who's your ideal Doom?
I don't know. I don't know anyone who has that.
We've done Joker to death. I'm not going to make a suggestion. We've done Joker suggestions to death. We've all heard them.
I don't know who has that sort of just arrogance and confidence and megalomaniacal sheer force of personality. Like Doom is a force. Like
you need some. All right, let's try and narrow it down. Doom,
he's a monarch.
I think Doom needs to be an older actor because you need the gravitas.
He certainly needs to be middle-aged.
Yes.
Well, late 30s at the youngest.
At the youngest,
At
yeah.
the youngest.
Put it there as a pin.
And that's if you're doing like he's the same age as Reed Richards. So whoever Reed Richards is, he needs to be the same age.
So
as
Reed
that.
needs. Let's put it here. Reed needs to be in his late 30s, early 40s because he's more interesting at that angle. Sue and Reed are more interesting when they are older. And Doom is interesting. Doom needs to have the age to bring the wisdom, make the wisdom and the gravitas available. But at the same time, they're also masked. So you need somebody with a damn good voice.
I think Benedict Cumberbatch would have been a good Doom before he was Doctor Strange.
Based on the voice, but then again,
he's not got. But then you don't see his face. You don't see.
No, that's true. But that's the thing. You'll have to pick an actor who's okay with being covered. And I think there are ones out. I think if you turn around to like Ian McShane and said, "I want you to play Doctor Doom,"
he's a little too old for that.
He's a little too old. But if it was all voice and less physical action,
Mads Mikkelsen would have been an amazing Doom.
Mikkelsen would have been good. Oh shit! Damn it! All the good people have been good.
Yeah.
Because again, if we were going off voice alone, like it's like hell, as an animated one, like McKellen as a voice would be damn good for Doom.
Yeah.
But maybe for an animated property. because obviously we'll all associate him with. I mean, again, like similarly, Patrick Stewart would make a good voice for Doom.
Yeah.
Shit, son. But we need a physical actor.
Good. He's in that big suit about an actual proper Doctor Doom, not like they've done Doctor Doom on film twice.
3 times.
Well, it's the same. It's Julian.
No. The 94 Roger Corman movie.
The 94 Roger Corman movie is apparently quite a faithful Doom, but I've not seen it.
But
the
it's
ones
sort
I've
of
seen,
low budgeted.
I've seen the 2 Fantastic Four movies that Tim Story made.
Yeah.
And they balls of Doom.
Doom was a pretty boy millionaire
I hear
who had electric powers.
I hear that they absolutely fucked Doom in Fantastic Four.
Because again, if you said to me, right, Marvel are making a Fantastic Four movie and Toby Kebbell's going to play Doom, I go, oh,
yeah,
okay.
All right.
Like, he's not like brilliant, that's perfect, but I'd be like, interesting. And I think he signed on for Fant Four Stick because he was like, oh my god, I'm going to play Doctor Doom. I'm there. And instead played a hacker blogger called Victor Domashev, who they then changed back to Doom. Which doesn't make sense, because if your version's a hacker, fair enough, give him a new name, that makes sense, I guess.
Kevin Spacey would have been a great Doom.
Spacey!
I think he might be a little old for it now. But I
think he might play it a little too similar to some of his other roles, though. But
I'd like that. Anyone who can do a good Lex Luthor can do a good Doom, really.
Gene Hackman is too.
Is it Clancy Brown?
Dr. Doom! The greatest criminal mind of...
Clancy Brown.
They'd never do it.
Clancy Brown.
But Clancy Brown would be damn fine. The problem is Clancy Brown would have to buff the fuff up.
No, he's wearing armour.
Yeah, but still, Doom's got to have kind of that sort of triangular shouldered thing going on. Give him stilt. He doesn't need him. Clancy Brown's like 7 foot 85 million meters tall.
Yeah, exactly.
Tits on a biscuit. Reese, this is a good question. Damn you.
I have to think about Doctor Doom because it's such a difficult character to cast. Oh man, because you're not going to see his face, but he's still got to have ridiculous presence.
However, Dwayne Johnson as Kraven the Hunter, yes,
that's fantastic.
That would be so
the best
good.
thing I've ever said in my life.
One criminally untapped potential when it comes to casting a supervillain. One thing that we probably, I don't think Sam Raimi's ever confirmed it, but it was heavily rumoured that we would have seen. No, well, that would have been fun, but I think it's a little obvious. As weird as that sounds, I think they've just gone, who's bald?
John Malkovich.
It'll do. And also, Anne Hathaway was going to be Black Cat, which is clearly, which is clearly like why she aced the audition for Catwoman, because she auditioned for Catwoman for Nolan and got it, and it's because she had already prepared physicality stuff, I guess, for Black Cat. She'd already prepared the slinky femme fatale thing, but then Felicia Hardy was going to be the Vulturess instead of the Black Cat after a certain point in production, which I think was a studio thing. They were like, no, we want her to be doing the same thing, so it'd be cool.
Silly.
But rumour was Act 1 would have featured a minor villain, and it would have been Mysterio, as played by Bruce Campbell.
Oh!
That would have been his cameo in Spider-Man 4, which makes so much sense.
Oh, yes!
Makes so much sense, because Bruce can play arrogant and pomp and bluster with a completely pathetic edge to it.
Would it have been revealed that all the Bruce Campbell cameos in the previous Spider-Man films were all Mysterio just fucking with Peter Parker?
Well...
Because I would love that.
That would be magical.
I would love that.
But I think if you were going to pick one of his people to be... like, the French maitre d' is a little harder, but you could say that the ring announcer and the usher were the same dude. Because he likes performance. He's there, like he's there in the wrestling ring. He's performing. He's the announcer, ring announcer.
He's Spider. It sucks.
That's the best you got. And he's obviously an usher at a theatre, which usually, if you ask, 90% of ushers at theatres are actors.
Yeah.
So it's like Quentin Beck getting into film and theatre, special effects. Maybe he tries a prosthetic mustache and an accent and becomes a French waiter for a year. Maybe he does. And then he goes, screw this, it's not working, I'm going to rob a bank. Give me that fishbowl.
Oh, the fishbowl.
The fishbowl full of dreams.
I love the fishbowl so much.
And on that note, that beautiful note, we're going to call it a day for this week.
The amazing, the terrifying, the sensational Spider-Man! His name's the human spider.
He said my name wrong. Bonesaw is ready.
I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Let's go to our playtime.
Yeah, let's go. Oh, well, steady on. Catch us throughout the week on Twitter, @OfficialCDJ and @TheMattyWatt.
Yeah.
You can also email us anytime, bigdamcontact@gmail.com. And if you enjoyed this podcast, why not comment below on YouTube, SoundCloud, or head on over to iTunes, motherfucker.
Leave us a review.
Leave us a rating, subscribe. You can now get us directly to the podcast app on your Apple devices, Android devices. And take us wherever you want. The moment an episode drops, you could be on the bus, and there we are, in your ears, fiddling about. Dirty, that.
That looked really weird. Get out my ears! Get out!
But I got you for 3 minutes.
3 minutes of playtime. More like 1 hour and 35 minutes.
Oh!
Oh!
Bye.